Hey guys, this is Rosa Kelly. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new reading vlog. So I have three books here right now. First book that we're going to be reading on this vlog is You Kill Me First by John Mars. And I already started this, so I'm probably about I want to say 20% into this book. So on this book, we are following three friends. One of the friends recently moved into this neighborhood, and she comes from London and is moving into this smaller neighborhood and trying to make a new life and open like a yoga studio, but she's also trying to make connections with the neighbors. And then we have the two other ladies that already live in the neighborhood. One of them used to be a pop star or a superstar and now is trying to live a quiet life. And I think she also has some secrets there. And then the other friend named Anna, who seems to be more of like the go with the flow type of friend, but also it kind of looks like she herself is going through a lot. And I have a feeling, the friendliest one is probably the one that's gonna snap. But the beginning of this book was so surprising. This probably has one of the best opening that I have read. So this book starts with a bonfire, and the person that is narrating this book is actually trapped somewhere near the fire, and she's about to die. So super interesting. The beginning of this book really hooked me, so that's why I picked this app. And so yeah, so that is the first one that I'm going to be reading on this vlog. The next book that I'm going to be reading is Abby Jimenez, The Night We Met, which is her new release, and I just absolutely love the cover. It's so pretty. So on this book, we are following Larissa, and one night she has to make a choice between these two guys. I think she was just getting a ride, but somehow she made a connection with Mike, who was the guy who gave her a ride, and they end up dating. And he turned out to be someone somehow unreliable. So one day she needs a ride to take her mom to the hospital, and he couldn't make it, so he sent his best friend Chris, who was the other guy that she did not pick that night, and he ends up giving her a ride. And that day they both find this dog, so they rescue the dog, and they somehow decide to co-parent taking care of this dog. So of course Larissa and Chris make a better connection, but she's already dating the best friend, so it looks like a messy romance, but I am here for it. And the few chapters I already read, I am loving so far. Of course, Abby Jimenez has this way of writing the perfect guy. I wish I can transport myself into the book. So that is the second book that I'll be reading. And then the next book that I want to read on this vlog is going to be The Life Impossible by Matt Haig. So this is one of the 26 books that I want to read for 2026. And so definitely I want to start with a new one from that list. And this one seems so perfect for the time because it talks a lot about nature, I think. And so we're following this girl named Grace. And so she is a retired teacher and she decides to move to Ibiza to kind of search for answers from one of her friends that recently passed. And so she goes out there with no plan and just a one-way ticket. So I'm excited to see what this book is all about. So as you know, Matt Haig is also the author of The Midnight Library, which is one of my favorite books of all time. So I'm really excited to get going with this book as well. These are the three books that I want to be reading for this week. Hopefully we'll get some good progress with these and maybe pick up something else because I'm always in the mood for a new book and I just have this urge of starting new books, but I definitely need to start and finish this book. So let me know if that happens to you. I'm always super excited, but once I linger on a book too long, I just want to move on to the next one. So I think the best thing to do is to start and finish my books fast and not linger too much. I have a couple books that I am in the middle of as well. So that's what I meant. I am ready for new books right now, but definitely finishing all the books that I start. It's a good goal for the week as well. So I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope that you enjoy the vlog, and let's get to it. So it's been a couple days. I have been doing a lot of progress on the reading, but has been a few busy days. I've been crafting, and this morning I had a live class for my crafting channel. I had an event, and it was really fun. Yeah, I was working on a little Mother's Day project, and so I'm going to continue working on that as I continue doing some reading. So I did find the audiobook for this, Abby Jimenez, The Night We Met, on Spotify. So I am listening to that. It has been super relaxing to listen as I do some crafting. And I think I'm about 40% into the book, so I can give you some updates. I am loving Chris. He is the best friend of the boyfriend, and so Larissa has been connecting more with him because of the dog, but also because the boyfriend is such an unreliable piece of crap. Okay, let me just say it, because he have issues with drinking a little too many cocktails, and continues to bail on things that they're supposed to be doing, and the friend continues to kind of rescue the situation. But I mean, I'm loving that they get more interaction, Chris and Larissa, but it just makes me so mad because she has no idea that this guy has these issues, and she just keeps kind of coming out with excuses why he, couldn't make it, because she's believing what he says, and she wants to be understanding and a supportive girlfriend. So yeah, it's making me mad. That type of relationship, I want her to know. Also, Chris, knowing or kind of suspecting what issues the friend has, he's not telling her because it's not his place, maybe. And also, he is telling the friend, though, to be more responsible and reliable and consistent, and to follow up on his word, which when he does, it just kind of scores points with Larissa. She's like, yeah, he has been, not showing up, but then he had this really nice gesture, and I'm gonna, continue to, give him a chance or whatever. But obviously, the gesture he made is because Chris made him do it, so she doesn't know that. But anyway, there has to be a struggle, right, for us to see how they're going to kind of figure out that they are perfect for each other, and they need to just ditch that boyfriend slash best friend of the guy. I'm gonna continue with this book as I work on my crafting project. I'm here with a reading and crafting update because I finished working on my Mother's Day book. So this is the one that I was working on, the one that we did the live class for, and I just went ahead and finished decorating all of the pages, and I was listening to The Night We Met. So I'm happy to say that I also finished this book, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the conflict and the real life scenarios that Abby Jimenez always puts in her books. I mean, they are, at some point, it was a little bit hard to listen to, all of the struggles of the boyfriend dealing with, the drinking, and also her kind of not having a person to rely on because her family was also very, very challenging to communicate with. But I, of course, love the romance as always with Abby Jimenez. She always has the perfect guy to just gonna be there to support and not to be like the hero of the story, because I also like that Clarissa was the hero of her own story. She was very strong and determined, and I really admired that. It gave me so much motivation and inspiration, but also just having a person who can be there for you and a person that you can rely on, not just on helping with every life things, but like emotionally rely on. I think it's just so sweet. So love this book. I gave the book, I want to say 4.5 stars. And so yeah, highly recommend and truly enjoyed that book. Also, I made some progress on You Killed Me First by John Mars. I just haven't had a lot of time to actually sit down and do some physical reading because I've been working on so many projects, and also taking care of my dog, who's not doing very good right now. So we have been going to the vet. And it's just a little bit challenging, but yeah, so I did make some progress, and I am now on part 2 of this book. So like I mentioned, we're following 3 neighbors who are friends and one of them recently moved into the neighborhood, and she kind of comes as, you know, this very successful person, but then you're learning about her past and things she did to make her fortune. Then you're also kind of learning the other 2 friends who also each have their own struggles. You're also following people in between chapters that had died, and they're describing how they were killed. You don't know who they are because they're just strangers on this story. I don't know if they come from a different timeline or if something that has happened in the neighborhood in the past, or if there's a serial killer on the loose, because they're just, I think, random people that telling their story of how they died every other chapter, I think. But yeah, really interested on this book. I still want to, of course, continue reading, and now that I have reached part 2, I have some understanding of who these people are. People are dying. Of course, I'm not gonna say, but it is getting really good and complete plot twist for me. I was not expecting that, but yeah. So now I'm like excited to continue reading this book. So that is the update. Also, we are going to be doing a little project here because me and my daughter have been thinking about making book, what do you call this, book sleeves. So she has bought all these beautiful fabrics, so we're gonna be experimenting with a little bit of sewing. I know how to use the sewing machine. I sew journals all the time, and I used to make some like pajama pins or like tutus for my girls, but never really something like a book sleeve, so, or a tote bag. So we're kind of getting into that a little bit, and I think it will be very nice to try to do some of that. So we're gonna be doing that together, and I'm just excited. Okay, I'm here with another update because I have something to share with you, which I love, and it is this. Ta-da! So I made my first book sleeve. Well, actually, this is the second one because we made the first one together with my daughter, which was for her. So let me show you the fabrics that we use. So this really pretty yellow and blue is the one that we use for my daughter. So I only have some left here, and this is the one that I did for me. And then we put little bows. Didn't this turn out so cute? I just love how these came out. And then on the inside, we did the lining. So my daughter actually picked all the colors with the linings. So I'm taking credit for her creativity. So she picked this one, which is the one that I use. And then she picked this for the lining. Isn't that so cute? And then, so we have a lot. Probably gonna make a few more, but I'm gonna let her do it because she did pretty good with her own. And now I'm just gonna let her do the rest. But this is the other fabric that she picked, which is so pretty. And then she picked this color here for the lining. I didn't even go to the store with her. She went with her sister. So again, zero credit for what I've done. I just kind of help her go through the steps because she saw the step-by-step on like a TikTok. Like they put like a picture slide, and surprisingly enough, it was really easy to understand, and I'm very happy with how this turned out and happy for her amazing idea. And so yeah, so this is going to be where I'm going to be keeping my little books. I'm always reading multiple books, so it's perfect that we can create different designs. I also have a new book to share with you because we went to Barnes & Noble yesterday and I could not resist, and I picked up a couple books. So this is Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. So I have been in a kick for reading more classics this year, and I think this is, I don't want to say easy, but like a small one, very doable. I've been reading Anna Karenina for the longest time, so I needed a classic that I can start and finish quickly again so I can motivate myself to continue. And I just started this last night, so I'm only on page 20, but yeah, I love it, and I'm gonna be keeping this one on my new super cute book sleeve. Also, I picked up The Odyssey by Homer. Now, this book was a challenge for me. It was required reading when I was in high school, and this is probably the book that made me not want to read, unfortunately. So I owe it to this book. Now that I love reading, I owe it to read it, understanding, because my brother was a year ahead of my grade. He read it the year before. I felt so behind and I didn't understand it. So one time at dinner, he was telling me, because my brother loved reading since we were little. I was more of like a math girl. And he ended up telling me a lot of the book, enough for me to like answer the questions and, you know, do the homework, take the test or whatever. So I never actually read it. I probably read a little tiny bit, or I will read, like scan and say like, okay, where can I, you know, kind of like a study reading, not reading because you really want to know the story. So I owe it to this book to give it a good read, and I'm excited actually to read this. I think I also owe it to my high school self to tell myself that I can do it. But anyway, so those are going to be two books that I'm going to be hopefully reading soon. And I also went ahead and started The Life Impossible by Matt Haig. I started out on audiobook. Actually, I found it on Audible, working with these and listening to that book. So wow, if you read The Correspondence by, I think it's Virginia Evans. I put this screenshot here. If you read that book, you are going to love Matt Haig's Life Impossible. I'm not done with the book yet. I'm probably at, I want to say 70% into the book, but I want to say from the first 10 minutes I listened to that book, I knew I was going to love it. And it has not disappointed me yet. It is so good. It is just truly amazing and really relatable, and just so many life lessons. Again, talking a little bit about reminiscing life and a little bit of grieving. And I just loved it. Love it. I'm loving it so far. So yeah, so I'm gonna continue with that book today. Let's continue the crafting journey and listening to the books and just do all the things. Good morning, guys. I am here to let you know that I have officially finished all 3 books that I wanted to read for this vlog, and I'll give you a little review about the 3, but also I wanted to share with you a couple of crafty projects that we finished also. So we went ahead and created a few other book sleeves. This one is a little bit bigger, and this one actually also fits my laptop, which is perfect. So I just have a little space of the laptop up here, but it is actually really good if you want to put your laptop in your bag and take it somewhere and you don't want it to get scratched. So love these and love the print, so pretty. Also, as you can see back there, me and my daughter are in full production mode. We went to the fabric store and got a lot of different designs and prints. We got more batting, and we're gonna be quilting tonight. We have been doing some quilting yesterday, so it's been a couple days since the last update. And also I was relaxing and I finally finished my knitted sweater. So if you have watched previous vlogs, you know that this was a work in progress for, I want to say, the last 2 months, and it is finally finished. And I love how these turn out. I know it's really boring, the color, and nothing really on it, but I wanted something wearable and something that I can, it can really fit in my closet, because I do wear a lot of muted colors like these. And I love how these turned out. I made this, I don't know how to say it. I didn't follow any pattern. I just went ahead and follow my instinct, as I used to do back in the day when I was knitting with my mom and my grandma. I remember the instructions, how to do the reductions, how to increase for the sleeves and all of that. So I literally just went without any plan, and I love how these turned out. And I love the neck. I love the high neck that I created, and it's not actually here, it's kind of like going high but like open once I put it on. So I won't be putting it on right now, but probably later on I will show you how it fits. I do want to block it and make it a little bit longer, but yeah, I'm very happy that I finished one project. I do have 2 other ones ongoing, so it just gives me the motivation to keep on knitting and crocheting. So I usually don't have deadlines, timelines when I make these, because I just want to sit and relax. And I have been doing a lot of knitting at nighttime when I'm just relaxing in bed. But yeah, so I wanted to share that with you. And now let's talk about the books that we read. So I finally finished You Kill Me First by Joan Mars. Pace for this book was really good from the beginning. It really just grabs you, and then once you get to the end of part 1 is when, oh my gosh, like you just can't stop reading. At the end of part 1 you get a really big reveal, so part 2 you just really want to go through the pages. And I actually wanted to go back to the pages to kind of read again. Now knowing what I know, I just went back to be like, wait, what? So really kept me super entertained and excited to really know what is going to happen next. So really, really recommend this book. I gave this book 4.5 stars. And then we finished the Abby Jimenez, The Night We Met, which, as you know, I gave this book a 5-star. Actually, I gave this book a 4.75. But for the most part, I really, really love this book. I love learning about Larissa and Chris' relationship. I really like all the life drama behind it. So many messages about empowering and understanding of others. You can be supportive to a person without having to carry on their problems, if you know. So really, really like the message, the romance, and of course, and the male character romance interests, always a dream guy for me. So love that book. And then I finished The Life Impossible by Matt Haig, and this book is an absolute 5-star. I really, really enjoyed this book from beginning to end. Like every chapter has a beautiful message. I love the mix of fantasy with reality and a message of grieving and message of a life well lived and how to let go those, guilt moments that you have throughout your life. I don't think it's particularly a book about grieving, but I do see that it just has a lot of messages. So with grief, you always feel guilty about something, even the things you can't control. You go months back and think that, well, maybe I could have and I should have, but then learning to recognize that we are also humans making mistakes, and maybe the mistakes that we think so deeply that we made, maybe those are not the ones that are making like the consequence that we think that made. And so anyway, I love this book. It has a lot of, like I said, life messages, a lot of things that I take from the exploration of self and the exploration of like the possibilities that what could be, what else is out there. So yeah, so I think it was a really nice, productive reading vlog, enjoying all the things and enjoying life, enjoying the day to day. So I really hope that you guys enjoy the video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.